Alrighty, folks. We are now getting on the MV Hubbard at the Alaska Marine Highway. Wow. This tunnel is very echoey. We're in Juneau, Alaska. Look at the size of that boat. Huge. Wow.
Gonna follow that yellow line around the yellow door.
All right. We are now on board this ship. Wow.
We can take the elevator, Red, or do you want to see what's on each floor?
Yeah, I'll take the stairs. Sizzling fireboxes. Wow. We're sailing away. Alrighty, folks. I think the horn's about to blow. So, be prepared. We just cast off. What a view! 6:57. Alrighty, folks. We are now turning into Haines. Oh! I guess this is our cruise dock. This is our dock. Oh yeah, I think I have seen Downey Live's video about that. Oh, look! I think we'll have to turn this boat around. Maybe. This is Hubbard, to musician. Please serenade my arrival into Haines with your rendition of Joyful, Joyful We Adore Thee. And he's got the whole world in his hands. Hubbard out. It is a little bit early. I think we're going to back in.
And they said, hey, they said, if you want to see the show tonight, and so they're, there's a lot of they're having to manufacture those rounds now. They're so expensive, but that's the only use for that. Yeah, it's like an old house or two, And so now they've said it's so much cheaper to charge on their own, right? Now, so I went up and they were dropping them, and I hear the explosion, and where I was at, I could see just the top part of the avalanche, and then it went on. I said, I have to go check this out.
Wow.
So you never know. I was thinking when you said that, you never know what you're going for. They actually have a light dynamite sticks, yeah. I was just looking for. This is they had some. Oh yeah, so this was in Salt Lake. So
Wow.
and the guy, I looked so confused.
Now I think that's where we'll unload. I think that building is the ferry terminal over there.
That's the whole number they used, so they didn't have to pay for the whole thing because they just needed more staff.
Ooh.
And in the West, I think we have a hard time realizing is that the Islamic culture is back in the year 1000, they were like astronomy, all this advanced science. Meanwhile, we're living in ghosts. We have our livestock inside our house because we're trying, we were
Easy does it, Hubbard.
And then I heard the story in Afghanistan. This is how creative they are. Some Afghani guy put together an old Soviets were there. They took a Soviet carcass of a Soviet helicopter. They retrofitted it, wheels, and made it into a vehicle. And it was amazing how they did this thing. So
I think we will have to back in.
they said, God, this is amazing. Hey, General, come here. You gotta check this out. They waited till all the top brass was down the line and and they blew them up. I mean, that's how far ahead they think. And so to think that, and plus they, in that part of the world, you must have been fighting each other for so long. And yeah, it's just like, if you weren't in for it, it'd be like crazy.
Wow.
So I don't think that. Well, better get down and do it, man. Okay, safe travels, Neil. See you around town.
What an arrival. I've never actually seen an arrival like this before. I think they'll be unloading just us off of here. Wow. And so look at all these cars! Gargantuan! This thing is gargantuan! This is what I call a rail fan paradise. wait, there's more. Here comes 3002. As you can see, this engine's running long hood forward. Just like the railway did. This is cool. Some of these cars are over 100 years old. I could be wrong. Over 200. What? Yep. Yeah, over 100. I think he's pulling the train back to the shop. Here it comes. This is White passing Yukon number 109, calling musician. Please serenade my rival back into Skagway with your rendition of He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. 109 out. Here it comes. Woohoo! Wow!
No, you're with the children. You're fine. I was just making sure what was going on. Okay. Hi.
Hello.
We do.
I trust you, but I do have to.
No.
You're like our
You need to
fourth
check it.
checkpoint
You need to
today.
check it, yeah.
As you can see,
If you came off the Chalku bus, I don't need to see your passports. They would have already done their due diligence. Okay. You can go more. I'm just, these are your people. So you folks are going to get there back.
Straight back.
All right.
Load it. Load it back.
all aboard the White passing Yukon. This is going to be our car for today. All right. Alrighty, folks. We are now on the White Passing Yukon train, and we are about to leave. Next stop, Carcross. We'll be leaving in just a little while.
He could do it. He could be the official. We'll give you lots of details along the way, I promise.
You should have brought your book.
You want a good guide tour?
Yes, that's right.
You should have brought your book. You could have really
Well,
toured it.
it's right here.
Oh, that's the abbreviation.
Yeah, that's the same one.
That you've been reading at this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you guys on the cruise ship?
Yeah.
On the cruise ship. Okay.
What about you?
Our son works here, so we just came in to visit him for the week.
Uh-huh.
So,
Where are you from?
we are from Alabama. Alabama. So, where are you guys from?
LA? Los Angeles? California?
California, Los Angeles. Okay. So you got on the cruise ship in Los Angeles?
No, Seattle.
In Seattle. So you had to go to Seattle to get it. And do you have a group of people that you did it, or just the two of you? Oh, nice.
It's good time for us to fight.
Because you're together.
Then we will need a
You
more
want to sit
vacation.
here and I'll move over there.
Okay. Now we're on board the.
Need one more vacation after this.
Yeah. Separate.
Individual.
Separate. Yeah. Do you have children?
Yeah, we have one daughter.
One daughter. Okay. In LA also. Okay. Our daughter is actually in Peru.
South America. Say South America.
Say
There's
in
lots,
South America. Yeah.
there's lots of Perus
I
in the
know. I
U.S.
know.
We have learned.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Towns.
South
In
America.
our cruise, there are many stops also.
Oh, really? Oh, sweet.
Because they speak Spanish, English, and some of them have learned Italian
And
and
French.
French.
Oh, wow.
So I saw more Philippines and Peru people.
Okay.
Customer service.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So you originated from Latin America?
I grew up in North Carolina, and then my
Pennsylvania.
wife in Pennsylvania. And so we had a job together when we were younger.
Kind of just like our son and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
here.
So our son has found a girlfriend here.
Oops.
And so.
All aboard!
So anyway, it's been interesting. So
This is White Pass in Yukon, number 109, calling musician. Please serenade my departure from Skagway with your rendition of This Little Idol.
Miles of narrow gauge track and climbing near over 3,000 feet to arrive in Carcross. During our trip, I'll be pointing out some of the scenery and sharing with you some of the history of the White Pass Railroad and the Klondike Gold Rush, which spurred its construction. My name is Josh, and I will be your narrator today. Joining me is the Stampede. The White Pass Railroad was the obvious answer for most, with plenty of free board and lodging. However, by the time these white-collar laborers would become useful, their friends, their money, or whatever they have been waiting for would arrive, and they would resume their rush for gold. Our railroad managed an inconsistent workforce of men, ranging up to 35 individuals over the course of the entire construction. Despite these challenging conditions, harsh winters, and lack of skilled workers, our foreman Michael Heaney managed to complete one of the greatest feats in railroading, finishing our entire track in 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days, all 110 miles. As we make our own journey along this track, I implore you to keep in mind that the rail we climbed today was only but a fraction of what these men and women endured.
We're on the White Pass and Yukon Railway in Skagway, Alaska. There's our engine.
important safety announcements concerning the use of those exterior platforms. First, another reminder that there is no crossing from car to car. Please maintain 3 points of contact, but do not lean on any of the chains as they are not weight-bearing. Anyone under the age of 16 needs to be accompanied by a responsible adult while outside. And finally, please be aware of your fellow passengers and share that limited space so everyone gets a chance to enjoy them. With all that said, the conductor has given us the go-ahead to step outside and make use of those platforms.
This is Rhett Robinson reporting live from the rear of the White Pass and Yukon car crash train. Alrighty, folks. This is super awesome. train climbing up the pass. Here we go! Into the tunnel! Woo! Yep. Woo! Wow. You want a photo of you in the truck? I'm actually taking a lot of videos. No, I just took a photo of one of you. When we get out of this tunnel, you can. Huh? When we get out of this tunnel, you can. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Would you like me to take it to your phone so you've got it? Yeah. Okay. It is dark and cold and bumpy, but I'm not afraid. Look, there's the missing coal truck. Coal truck? Stuck up the magic of the mountain. Oh, wow. Goodbye, United States. Hello, Canada. think that's like that. Look, we're even leaving the clouds behind and blue skies ahead.
I was not in the video. That video was made a while ago. Before you. Way before me.
Are we going on this direction or next?
We're going that direction. We've got about 20 more miles until we get to Carcross. And it is very scenic as well. So the tour kind of stops a little bit here. There's not much to talk about, but it is so beautiful and it's cleaned up really nice. So we're gonna serve lunches here once everyone gets settled and then just enjoy the lunch and take in the sights.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed exploring the historic Bennett Town site. Nowadays, these shores are quiet and peaceful. However, during the gold rush, this was where thousands of stampeders constructed their makeshift rafts and waited out the winter for the spring thaw. On May 29, 1898, an armada of over 7,000 watercrafts loaded with 30 million pounds of food set out on their 550-mile journey to the Klondike Goldfields and in Dawson City. And Skagway was the closest harbor and the only real way to get there. And it was still almost 600 miles away to get to those gold fields.
So today our meat come from 600 miles.
I'm sorry?
Prepare where?
It comes from Skagway. Yeah, so it's prepared in Skagway. But we've got a fridge car at the front of our thing, so they've stayed in the fridge and fresh. Alright, everyone, really quick, I am going to start passing out lunches. Do I have folks in here with the last name Portello?
Yeah.
Okay, and the last name Franco. Perfect. That kind of is concave. Kind number one. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
Now that everyone's inside, I do ask again that you all take our seats here. Steps down, and they cannot do so if you're out on the exterior platforms waiting to get off. Please wait to be waved off by one of the crew on the ground before you attempt to disengage. Use caution when stepping off the train, and keep in mind that many find it easier to go down backwards like a ladder. If you're joining us from the Norwegian Joy, once it is safe to disembark, you will find your bus to continue your tour in the parking lot next to the Carcross station. Please use caution when stepping off the train, and keep in mind many find it easier to go down backwards like a ladder. And again, on behalf of myself, Rachel, and the rest of our crew, thank you all for riding. Enjoy the rest of your stay here in Carcross.
Alright, folks, steps are down at the front.
Steps are down, and I'm like, oh no.
Welcome to Carcross.
Everyone enjoying their cruise so far? Nice. Where were you guys all yesterday? Juneau. Did some whale watching? Nice. So I take it you saw some whales. Very cool. Did they tell you, like, it seems like this week, or really today mostly, everyone's been saying they've been seeing a lot of whales. Is this the best time for whale watching, like, as far as the season goes? Oh, nice. Very nice. Anyone make it up to the Mendenhall Glacier? Nice. Alrighty guys, so it looks like we have our full group, everyone situated, so welcome everyone. Welcome to Gold Rush Dog Tours. My name is Therese. My husband Peter and I have managed the sled dog kennel for a little over 25 years or so, and he competed in 6 Iditarods, so that was the focus of our kennel. You guys met Trace at the door. He's going to be your musher today. He's going to be taking the team out, running it around the track for you all so you can see how excited and enthusiastic these dogs are, doing what they love doing best. And you're going to meet Steve back there as well. He's going to be helping us meet all the dogs, and of course the puppies. Everyone's favorite part. But we do just want to share a little bit about the Alaska State sport of dog mushing with you all, focusing primarily on the Iditarod. Have any of you guys heard of the Iditarod before? It probably is the most famous sled dog race in the world, and it starts in the south central part of the state, and it works its way up to that northwest corner, ending in Nome, Alaska. And that trail is going to be approximately 1,100 miles long. So that's comparable to go from New York City all the way down to Miami. But of course, we don't have that paved road to follow. But the race was started back in 1973. It was started by a man named Joe Reddington Sr., and he was really just trying to come up with a way to keep interest in the sport of dog mushing here in Alaska for generation after generation. He just didn't want to see a time where we had no dog teams here or that dog teams weren't relevant. So he decided to create this race. And the race is run the first Saturday in March of every year. And this past March, they had their 54th running of the race. So I think he was pretty successful in keeping that interest going. But you can also see here, we do have 2 different style sleds. This sled on the floor is what we call a freight sled. It's got a large basket area there, so it can hold a lot of cargo. It's made of wood, so it's going to be a little stiffer, a little sturdier there in order to hold that cargo. But that's the style sled you would have seen back in the Gold Rush days. But by contrast, this up here is the modern day racing sled. This is the type of sled you would see going over the Iditarod Trail today. So of course we're going to use more modern materials here, so it's lightweight but still really strong. It's going to be very flexible, so you can really manipulate it over that tricky Iditarod Trail. And this particular model is called the tail dragger model, just because it does have this whole back end portion here as well, which is nice because you can store some extra gear here. But what's most convenient about it is that my cooler here can double down as a seat. Yep. And that way, if you're on an easy part of the trail, like maybe the Yukon River is flat, it's straight, it's wide open, you're on it for over 100 miles, it can be boring. I'm going to say, okay dogs, you got this. I'm going to kick back on my snowshoes, kick my feet up, maybe watch a little Netflix. We of course don't do that part. If we're sitting here, usually we're going to grab a ski pole in each hand, and we're going to ski pole along just to help the sled move along as the dogs are pulling. When we're standing, we're going to do a combination of kicking and ski poling. And then when we do come up to a hill, as soon as we start climbing up that hill, I'm actually going to put my ski poles away. I'm going to jump alongside the sled and run alongside it. That way the dogs don't have to pull my weight up the hill as well as the sled's weight. So we're ski poling, we're kicking, we're running. It all seems very straightforward until you see the boots that we wear. Every time I look at these, I think of Herman Munster. So some people still know who that is, right? But they do, they look pretty awkward or uncomfortable to wear. But they're actually very lightweight. This boot probably only weighs about 2 or 3 pounds. And it's got a nice big insole here, so that's going to keep your foot up off the ground. And it's made with this foam insulation, so that's going to provide warmth without a lot of weight. And I'm not sure how they go about rating boots, but they rate these boots to -100, but I don't think your feet are going to be warm at -100. In fact, I know they're definitely not going to be warm at -100. We've tried just about every style of boot there is out there, and we've just come to realize at about 40 below or so, unless you're really working hard behind the sled, your feet are just going to be cold, they're going to be uncomfortable, but in general they're going to be safe in these style boots. In fact, Peter had these boots on one year going into that cripple checkpoint. That checkpoint's out in the middle of nowhere. And he'd been on the trail for about 18 hours or so, and he said it was the coldest night he spent out there, at least for that extended period of time. So when he arrived, he just couldn't resist asking them what the temperature was. And at that point, they said it was 68 degrees below zero. And they said it could very well have been colder out on the trail. And he said, well, that explains the miserable night I had out there on the trail. But he didn't have any frostbite or anything. I mean, his feet were cold. He was pretty miserable. But usually, if you can keep yourself moving around enough, you can at least keep yourself safe. And some people will add those chemical hand warmers or those foot warmers to their boots to help keep their feet warm. And those last about 3-4 hours or so. And in those conditions, he probably would have been okay using them. But we just always kind of stayed away from them in our training runs. So I never put him out there on his Iditarod runs either, just because they have the potential to backfire on you very easily. Because a lot of the trail, you really are working hard behind the sled here, especially those first few days. You're going over the Alaska Range. And so every day you're going up and down mountains. And you figure going up a mountain sounds like that's hard work, but the real hard work happens when you start coming down the mountainside. Because when you start...
Here come the dogs. Here they come.
Hello. Hi, puppies.
Wow.
Now, we will be checking all your bags for puppies. I feel like I have to pause at this gate.
Yes, I think we should.
Oh yeah, pause. That's a SpongeBob laugh.
And remember also, if you get the puppies past me, they're still going to scan you when you get to the ship. Of course, that is a CAT scan, so you'll be fine. I can do that. All right. Welcome to the Skagway traffic jam. Would you like that with toast? All right, we'll see what we can do. Perfect. Come on down.
The price is right.
All right, Chichacos, right this way. Time to start our training camp. Now, please don't be offended by my calling you Chichacos. That is just an old Tlingit term that means folks that are new to Alaska. Now, if you stick around for a spell, you might graduate to what we call sourdoughs. See, sourdoughs are folks that have spent at least one winter in Alaska. The reason they call them that is, well, it used to be the custom to take a small vial of sourdough starter and wear it on a chain around your neck through the winter. That would keep the sourdough starter warm, and you could make bread in the spring, because apparently some people like to eat in the spring. I can do that.
Wow.
Now, I don't think, though, that's the kind of bread we want to talk about, is it? No, we're here to talk about gold! Now, what is it about that pretty yellow rock that gets folks all riled up? Well, thousands of years ago, the ancient Egyptians and other countries realized that gold isn't just pretty, it's also very rare. And it's easy to do stuff with. You can use it to make jewelry, or crowns, or coins. I even heard about one guy allegedly used it to make a toilet seat. All right, stand right there for me, darling. And then I'm gonna pop up here. Now, a while later, gold stopped being just about decoration, and it started to be about money. See, in the 1800s, the United States was on what was called the gold standard. That meant if you had some paper money, there had to be gold in reserve to back it up. You run out of gold, you run out of money. And in the early 1890s, well, something like that kind of happened. See, we had the biggest depression this country had ever seen. They called it the Panic of 1893. It's the worst one we would see for, well, about 35 years when the Great Depression hit. So, this one was so bad, banks shut down, businesses closed, and a lot of good people, well, they lost their jobs.
Dun, dun, dun.
Just imagine what that would be like. You lose your job. No fault of your own. You go down to the bank so you can, get your savings, but the bank is closed. And that money's gone. There's no FDIC back then. No bank, no money. Well, a lot of people, well, they lost hope. But then they started to hear rumors that maybe there was gold up north. Maybe a lot of it. Now, normally that'd just be a pipe dream, but when your family's hungry and you don't know where the next meal's coming from, well, you grab onto anything you can get. All we need was for someone to actually find it. And August 16th, 1896, George Carmack, his wife Kate Carmack, and their Tagish relatives, Skookum Jim and Dawson Charlie, well, they're down by Rabbit Creek when one of them discovered a gold nugget the size of a man's thumb.
Wow.
Well, all over the Yukon, folks swarmed in for that, trying to get as much gold as they could. But here's the weird thing. Down in the lower 45, because you see, there were only 45 states at the time. That's what lower 40. Anyway, they weren't doing nothing. They were just treating like nothing happened. I guess people just weren't checking their Twitter as much in those days. But then, July 17, 1897, almost 11 months to the day later, the SS Portland steamed into Seattle with 68 miners and 2 tons of gold. The headlines read, "Gold, gold, gold, gold." The article said, There is so much gold up there. You can walk around the riverbank, pick up the big nuggets, put them in your pocket, and walk on to the next one. Well, after that, then the gold rush started for reals. People, if they had jobs, they quit them. They sold all their stuff. The mayor of Seattle was down in San Francisco for a conference. He heard about the gold rush, sent a letter to Seattle resigning, hopped on a boat, and he went up to Skagway. Let me tell you about my cabin over here. All right, my folks, we're going to go to that second cabin over there.
Oh my goodness!
Not bad, is it?
Huge!
Now, they figure about 100,000 people came up to Skagway looking for gold. And they all got off the boat, went down the river, picked up the nuggets, put them in their pockets, got back on the boat, went home, and they were heroes. Yay, right?
Wrong.
Well, I got a confession for you folks. There is no gold in Skagway. Now, that's not entirely true. If you go to the gift shop and speak to my friend Joe, he's got some beautiful Klondike gold nuggets to sell you. And later on, when you do your panning, that's going to be real gold in your pan. But none of that came from here. No, we brought that from the gold fields, which is about 600 miles that away in a place called Dawson City. But if there's no gold in Skagway, then why do we go on about gold so very, very much? Well, here's the thing. Your cruise ship came down the Lynn Canal. That's as far as you can go by water before you got to get out and walk. So they came here, and once you get here, you got two ways to get to the gold fields. You've got the Chilkoot Pass, that one right there. That's what the indigenous folk used to use. And you got the White Pass, and this one we developed after we got up here. Now, they both have their pluses, and they both definitely have their minuses. We'll talk about that in a bit. When you get to the top, you're going to find yourself in Canada. And someone from the Northwest Mounted Police is going to meet you there and say, oh, hey, no, you can't come in here. No, you need a whole bunch of stuff first. Get back to Skagway, you scallywag. Because you see, the Canadians, they saw what happened in California in 1849. Hey, they saw what happened just the year before, just from the locals swarming in for the gold. The last thing they needed was 100,000 crazy Americans running around the Yukon trying to live off the land. You ever tried to forage in the Yukon? Unless you got a strong taste for tree, there's not a lot for you. I do hear though the snow soup is delectable. But anyway, Canadians, they made a rule. In order to get into Canada, you need to bring with you certain things. Can I have a drum roll, please? And can you do me a favor, whip up or dramatically open that curtain? Oh, that was a great job. There you go. For your trouble. There you go. That is authentic 24-karat gold-colored nugget. It is worth its weight in plastic. So in order to get into Canada, you needed a ton of goods. And folks, we are not being figurative here. That is a literal 2,000 pounds worth of stuff. Now, they were nice and they put it all in all the papers down the States so people could buy it before they went up here. Now, if you bought it in the States, it cost you about $500 altogether. In today's money, that would be about $19,000.
Jeez Louise!
Not a small investment. That's about what someone would need to live a year up in the Yukon by themselves. Now, some of the stuff you could share with other folks. The tent, the stove, and the box, and the tin of matches, those could all be split amongst 4 people. But every other single item on that list, everybody needed every one. There's stuff for your shelter, there's tools, especially your gold pan, because panning without a gold pan is, well, it's really nothing. No pan, no gold. So you need clothing because they really don't like it when you run around the Yukon without any clothes on. And over half of it, though, is food. You got 150 pounds of bacon, which is almost enough for a good breakfast. About 400 pounds is just flour. You need 10 pounds of coffee, 10 pounds of tea. It doesn't matter if you prefer coffee, or you prefer tea, or if you prefer the marshmallow or the cocoa with the little marshmallows in it. If you don't have your 10 pounds of coffee and your 10 pounds of tea, they are not letting you in. Goes all the way down to 1 can of mustard. And I'm going to tell you, if you show up there with every single item on your list, and you even bring an extra 350 pounds of bacon because, you know, brunch, they're still going to send you away. Now, that's 2,000 pounds of stuff right there. I am a strong man, but I would be hard-pressed to carry 2,000 pounds of stuff at one time. They figure most people can carry about 50. They put it on something like this, strap it, put it in little ropes, strap it on your back, and you go. Now I'm going to make you do math.
Uh-oh.
2,000 pounds of stuff, you can only take 50 pounds at a time. How many trips is that? 40. Yes. 40 trips. Here's your goal. At least 40 trips. Now let's talk about our trails again. Right over here, Chilkoot Pass. This one, it is 3,500 feet in the summit. It is 33 miles long. Now, it's very narrow. A lot of places you got to go single file. It's very steep. But the good news, it's also very icy. And it culminates right here at what we call the Golden Staircase. That is 1,500 steps carved into the ice.
Wow.
Walking up, single file. They figure it takes about 6 hours to get from the bottom to the top. And you're spending the whole time looking at the backside of the guy in front of you. Now, if you get tired, there's a place you'll go off for a little bit and have a rest. But who's ever stepped out of the buffet line for just a minute and tried to get back in? Go all the way to the top. Now, one good thing about the Chilkoot Pass and the Golden Staircase, after you get to the top, you can drop off your stuff, and then you can use your backpack thingy as a sled and slide on down. Whee! See, that's me right there. I believe that was trip 32, beans. But I digress. Let's talk about our other path. White Pass, one made by Mr. William Moore, who founded, well, Moorestown, that became Skagway, but there we go. This one, it is longer. It's 45 miles instead of 33, but it's not as high. The summit of this one's only 28.88. It's a little bit wider. It's not as steep. It's not as icy. This is the one that we called pack animal friendly. You may have noticed I used big quotation marks on pack animal friendly because, folks, it was not very friendly to poor animals. Let's talk about the horses first. People didn't bring horses up here. They had to buy them in Skagway. And the only horses to sell, or for sale, well, there's some folks that go around to all the local farms, go down to the States, find all the horses that were old and sick and lame, and they buy them for about a nickel. They call them nickel horses. They bring them to Skagway and sell them for the low, low price of just $10.
Jeez Louise.
There. And you know what? The folks that bought the horses, they didn't know anything about horses. All they knew is they didn't want to take no 40 trips up the trail, so they piled as much stuff as they could on these poor horses and send them up 45 miles up, 45 miles back. Now, I told you that this one was wider. It wasn't that much wider. It's not as steep. Some places are still pretty darn steep. It's not as icy. Well, there's one part of this trail, they estimate 3,000 horses lost their lives. They call it Dead Horse Gulch. And here's the thing, your horse dies on the trail, you gotta pick up everything that's going in the back and carry it the rest of the way. And if you already have stuff at the end of this one, you can't switch to the shorter trail because there's no way to tell what you have over there and what you have over there. The cell phone service was horrible in those days. So, you go all the way up there. They say whichever path you chose, you wish you chose the other one. But finally, you do all your trips. You get up there, you walk up to the Northwest Mounted Police and say, "Here's your stinking mustard." And they say, "Oh, hey, welcome to Canada. Come on in." And now, you walk around, you pick up the gold, put it in your pocket, go back to Skagway, head home, you're a hero, right? Yay! No, I told you it was 600 miles. You've only done about 50. No, now you're at Lake Bennett. There's a picture of it right there. Now, Lake Bennett empties into the Yukon River. 550 miles down the Yukon River, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We're gonna head right over here.
Sizzling fireboxes.
This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a sluice box. Now, there are two main ways, and my ladies and walkers, if you want to stay on the sidewalk, I think you'll still be able to hear me, because I got a big booming voice. But there's two main ways to get gold out of the ground. There is lode mining. That's pretty much what they did in California with the pickaxes and the dynamite and stuff like that. But here, we do what's called placer mining. Now, placer mining comes from the Spanish word placer, which means sandbank. Because you see, gold, it's about 19 times heavier in the water, and it's 6 to 7 times heavier than anything else you're going to find in the river. So as the gold tumbles down the river, it gets stuck in all the corners. What else is in the corner of rivers? Sandbanks. There you go. Now, placer mining has 4 main steps. You've got the digging, you've got the agitating, you've got the discarding, and the best part, the collecting. That's what you're going to learn in your pan. This thing right here, the sluice box, it does that exact same thing, just a little bit more efficiently. Now, I'm going to need this young lady to be my eyes. Come on over here. Now, I'm going to turn this on. I already did a little bit of digging, got my dirt right there, and then we're going to turn on the river, and then it's going to wash the dirt down, and then I need you to look for the gold. You ready? Looking for gold in all the right places. Wait a minute. Do you see that? Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. When we're placer mining, we're usually looking for gold flakes, gold dust. Gold nuggets are very rare. About 1/10 of 1% of all the gold found in placer mining is in nugget form, and I just found 3 ginormous golden nuggets. So I've really enjoyed my time with you today, but I'm going to go to that Awawa place in the ocean and retire. But you know, there's a chance that someone's trying to play a trick on me. But I can test it. Come on over here. Let's find out how to find gold in the wilderness. There's 4 main tests. First off, magnetism. Gold is not magnetic. This is a real magnet, so you pick up the nail. Boop, boop. Wow. Now, if this magnet sticks to those nuggets are not gold. Ready? Cross your fingers. Okay. Not sticking. I think we got gold. Wait. Gold is 9 times heavier than any rocks. So, do me a favor, buddy. Find a rock about that size.
Okay.
Perfect. That'll be just fine. Look at that. That's right here all good. And now, do me a favor, darling. I want you to hold out both your hands and close your eyes. And I need you to tell me which one of these feels heavier. Which one feels heavier? That one? All right, that's 2. All right, you can have your rock back, thank you.
Okay.
Third, there's something called the Mohs scale. The Mohs scale, that is how hard things are. Now, diamonds are like a 10. Talc would be like a 1. Gold is at about a 2.5, and steel is at about a 6. With that logic, I should be able to just take this nail, push it right into the gold, easy peasy, right? Here we go, test it out. Just slide it right in, like butter. Almost there. All right, did it go in? We're gonna call this one inconclusive. All right, one final test. The porcelain test. This one's surefire, always gets it right. See, porcelain, I believe it's called porcelain because it's very porous. So if you take unglazed porcelain and rub gold against it, well, the gold dust collects in the little pores. You get a bright yellow streak. You ready to be my eyes again? Good.
Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think I've been punked.
Wah, wah.
No, I think actually these are just 3 spray painted rocks. But you know what? That was so funny. We're going to leave these here for someone else to do the same thing. All right, now, moving on. This right, oh, that doesn't work about 10 miners at a time. This right here, this is the dredge. That doesn't work about 1,000 miners a day.
Wow.
And it does it the same exact way. You got right here a bucket line. The buckets, these weigh about 800 pounds, carry about 3.5 cubic feet of dirt. That travels at a speed of about 30 buckets a minute.
Wow.
Zips it up there, and that does the digging part. Step 1. It's gonna dump it into this big metal tube that we call a trommel. Now the trommel, come on folks, trommel has little holes drilled in it. They start at about 1 centimeter, then they go up to about 2 inches. They rotate it slowly about 6 times a minute and run water down it. That's doing the agitating phase. That is separating the gold and the little stuff from all the big old rocks that we don't need. And all the big rocks.
Hey, look, there's the
In
train.
the middle of a tour.
Sorry.
We got the rudest new. So, are you done? That guy. All right.
I just love trains.
So, anything bigger than 2 inches, they're just going to throw that out the back. Now you're thinking, aren't you throwing out the gold if you're doing that? But, I already told you.
That's how I got a name, by the way, David. I like to tell those folks because I was born with a blowhole on the top of my head. That'd be crazy. No, got that name called a whaler. Like 1896, I was a whaler out in Montana. Specialized in collecting ambergris. If you don't know what ambergris is, congratulations. Here I was out in the ocean of Montana. And suddenly, out of nowhere, I get scooped up, swallowed whole by a whale. Well, how's that happening to you out in Montana? So I thought, let me tell y'all, I spent days on end inside the belly of that beast. Each day I noticed it got colder and colder till the next thing I know I'm flipping out of this whale's mouth like a chunk of ambergris. Before I can even say shamu, that whale would spit me out. I came skipping across the Lynn Canal and I washed up here in Skagway. I had the faintest idea of how to get back home, so I decided I'd make my own beer friend back in the tin. One of the most valuable skills of Klondike Gold Rush. And I'm here today to teach y'all all my secrets, and hopefully we'll have a whale of a time while we're at it. That sound all right with you folks?
Yeah.
That's how we're going to be looking for gold. Can I get a show of hands? Everybody who knows what gold looks like? Okay, all right. Saw some hands go up. Saw a few hands stay down. Y'all don't worry about that. I'll be getting rid of all that confusion walking around with some of these. Ooh.
You're not finding that.
Oh, yeah, somebody knows. Yeah, no. But I hold in my hand are some genuine 22-karat Klondike gold nuggets. Read it and read. Some of the purest stuff of the nature. That's all here at 22 carats. So pure and natural that if you were to see some gold that were maybe 23 or 24 carats, well, that gold there was definitely processed in a laboratory using smelting techniques.
Wow.
This here is some of the pure stuff Mother Nature has to offer. All being so pure and natural, gold nuggets are also very dangerous. You have to see, prospectors back in 1898 would find themselves gold nuggets like these here. They would immediately get to hooping and hollering. After a while, they notice their brows are beginning to sweat. Left arm start to tighten. They start having heart palpitations. After a while, they start coming down with heart attacks. That's not very good for business. So what I did is I went to each and every one of y'all's pans
and I picked out any gold nuggets I was able to find. Well, I can thank you later on account of being alive at the end of our little demonstration here. Well, let's say that you had your heart set on leaving today with some nuggets of your very own. Well, don't fret. Old Willie Dylan's got some options for you. The first option is going to be about 115 miles in that direction into White Horse, Canada, because that's where the nearest McDonald's is. Maybe as many as 20 nuggets for those folks. They aren't as rare, but they sure are tasty. That's too far for you. Got another route here. You're going to have to travel road. Only about 15 yards in that direction to our gift shop. Talking to my friend Joe in there. See, I don't know how he does it, but he has an assortment of gold nuggets that will just knock your socks off. That will just knock your socks. Okay, all right. I see your faces. I hear the murmurs. We're ready to learn how to pan for gold. All right about that?
Yeah!
The gold pan itself. Kind of crucial to the whole operation. This one here, his name is Peter. Peter Pan. Oh, you're a little bit familiar. Yeah, good to see you, Peter. Once you got your gold pan, you're also going to need your pay dirt. You're going to be able to find that inside of your gold pan here. The thing that distinguishes pay dirt from any old other kind of dirt. And I suspect this pay dirt here should have some gold inside of it. Hopefully my suspicions are correct. Otherwise, it will be a pretty underwhelming gold pan show. Once we got our gold pan and our paint dirt, we're going to get our next bit of material. That's going to be our water here. Once we got our water, we're going to take our pan, fill it up with just enough water that will cover the surface layer of paint dirt in our pan. It's not too much, not too little, just about 1 inch of water covering that surface layer of paint dirt. Once you got your water in your pan, you'll be ready to start with step number 1. Anybody know what step number 1 is? Oh, you really do know what the step number 1 was. This research we came out here. That's exactly right. We're going to shake our pans, jostle that dirt from left and right inside of your gold pan. This is what's known as the agitation phase. So if you really want to agitate the dirt, you might want to try something like this here. You ugly dirt! You damn rocks! You'll never be a boulder. Why you hitting yourself? Why you hitting yourself? Why you hitting yourself? Why you hitting yourself? You're on this last nerve there, folks. You're going to agitate it up. What this is doing is getting all our gold distilled down to the bottom of our pan. You know the gold is going to the bottom because it's the heaviest thing in there. About 19 times heavier than the water, 6 to 10 times heavier than all the dirt and rocks we find in the pan with it. And we're just helping that gold along the way. After we have shaken our pans for about a minute or two, we'll then be ready for step number 2, which is where we are going to shake it again. Very close, y'all. We're going to shake our pans again. This time, shaking at an angle, getting all that dirt collected to a part of the pan where the bottom meets the side. And that crease all along the bottom edge of our pan. Now, we got a little nickname for that crease here at Dredgetown. We like to call that crease the Golden Crease. Very creative, I know. We like to call it that because that's where all our gold is at right now. All along the bottom edge of our pan here. Once we get all our dirt and gold collected into the golden crease, we will then be ready for step number 3. Which we're really getting rid of all this dirt that's in our pan. Once we move all the way to our pan. So I suggest that you hold on close to somebody next to you. Step number 3 is the scariest step. It's called the dunk. Like this. Drain out all my water. Once all my water is drained out, that's the 45-degree angle to put up my pan. Got my 45-degree angle, I'm up my pan straight down. Ah! Sir, it's all right, I'm a trained professional. All that happened when I dumped my pan down to this water here is I generated a water current that rushed into my pan. That's rushed out to the top layer of pay dirt out of my pan. Now my gold is neatly buried underneath all my pay dirt in the golden crease I was telling you about. Keep in mind the gold is the heaviest thing in the pan, so it's going to be at the lowest point. We gotta make sure we got a 45-degree angle when we dump it down to the water. Find that 45-degree angle by draining out all of your water. It's all gone, that's your 45 degrees, go straight down, right back out. That's all we're looking for, folks. In between each part dump, we want to make sure we're giving our pan a nice little safety shake. Just make sure that all that gold is buried underneath the pan. So you dump, safety shake. Throughout this dunking phase, we're going to get down to 2 tablespoons of dirt in our pan. Going to keep on dunking until we hit that mark. It's going to be too hard for us because, as we know, America runs on dunking. You should have had no practice by now. You just dunk and shake, Dump and shake until you hit 2 tablespoons. Once you have hit 2 tablespoons of paint dirt, you will be ready for the golden swirl. So before you start the golden swirl, you're going to separate the water from your dirt. That's what easy to do. Just tilt your pan up to you like you read the book. You should end up with a pan that looks like this here. Water on your downward slope. All that dirt sticking to the top of your pan. Once you got your pan in this orientation, you'll be ready for the golden swirl. And all that looks like, you are gently swirling your water over the top of your dirt. Sand, stone, sediment, and stuff. And eventually, Eureka, it should have built us our 22-carat Klondike gold.
Where's truck gold?
No, I will be honest. As I'm walking around showing y'all this, I'll let you know right now that this here is my demonstration dirt.
Oh.
So y'all results may vary. That's quite all right. Some people say the real gold is in our hearts the whole time. Keep that in mind. Once you got all that going on covered, you will be ready for the 4th and final step. That's where we're going to collect it. You're going to need a few more supplies. You don't want to do that. So drain out all your water. Pick up one of these bags. Not with my hand here, prospect, what's known as gold poke or a film canister. You just add it to this. Once you got the gold poke, you're going to need some extra material. A finger. More specifically, you're going to need a dry finger. Like that off of your shirt or neighbor's shirt, or if you're feeling simple, we got embroidered towels down there as well. Just as soon as you got your dry finger, you're gonna take that finger, press it up against your gold plate in your gold pan. That gold plate will stick neatly to the tip of your finger, like so. And you're sitting here looking at this, sometimes reminding me of that one James Bond thing. Gold finger, look at that, we got the pans in the crowd. I couldn't remember. I was going to say silver toe or something or other. I was panicking. But y'all are exactly right. You're going to get yourself a gold finger here. Once you got your gold finger, you are then going to take your gold poke. You're going to take your gold finger, and you are going to tap your gold into your poke. Making sure not to scrape your gold into your poke, lest your gold fling off into the far reaches of the universe. Heard from a kid, y'all. It's a very harrowing story, and it happens every day. So let's make sure we're tapping our gold into our pokes. Once we have collected all our gold, we're going to close up the poke, make sure to hear the click. Once you're that click, you're going to take your poke around, following the gold footsteps to our savings office. One of our savings will weigh out your gold, tell you how much it's worth. And heck, we can give you some options to display for your friends and family back home. Here's the kicker. Any gold you find in your gold pan is going to be yours to keep. That sound all right with everybody?
Oh, yeah.
Let's give up one more thing. I'm going to say that is fake. From the bottom of my heart and last 360. It's not lost on me that none of this would be possible. But guests like yourselves here today, and simply by y'all being here, y'all are awarding me and all my friends over there the opportunity to get to live and work in one of the most beautiful places on this sun. Once again, thank y'all. And without any further ado, hey, Claim Jumping Jerry. Oh, sure you're not. No, I got a prospect down here. You got some prospect? No, Claim Jumping Jerry. They're not looking for you. We're looking for gold.
Look at these wheels and the running board. They're all rusty. This was once a mighty engine of the White Pass, but now it's a piece. It is an abandoned piece of history here. Here's the other side. There's even a crack. Poor engine. This is one of the only 190 class locomotives that, one of only a few of these still left in existence. There's the number, 195. Here's the tender. I think someone needs to restore this train. Maybe cosmetic, maybe to operating condition. Just look at these. Look at these cars. Someone should restore these cars to their former glory. Not as an operating condition that would cost more money, but we could just do a cosmetic restoration to see how this engine would have looked. And then here's the caboose, also in a very sad state. Yep, no climbing on the train. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. As you can see, today is our last day of our Alaska trip, and today we are going to ride on one last train, the steam train. I'm currently on my way to the station right now. I have had a beautiful day. I had a wonderful time here in Skagway, and I can't wait till next time. So I will video document the whole trip, and we'll see the whole thing. My brother actually works here on this railroad. As you can see, in the distance here, you can see the Carnival Cruise Line's Carnival Spirit. Plus, you can also see some of our White Pass and Yukon engines preparing for another busy day ahead. Alright, I'll see you when the train arrives. Alrighty, folks. 73 should be coming around the bend right at about now. It is 9:52. Do you see her? I hear the caboose whistle. Here she comes. Here she comes. Here she comes. Audience, what do you think about that? The conductor's giving us a little... Hi, Steph! Here she comes! Come on, 73! Come on! Oh, yeah! I hear her. I think she has some new cars. And a helper. Here she comes! Hooray for 73! Woo! Let's chase her! Listen! 73 saying hello! Everyone say hi, 73! Oh, wow. Built in 1947 by the Bowen Locomotive Works in Philadelphia, she was... That sure is a lot of steam. She was one of the original locomotives built into White Pass. Wow. And that's the train we'll be riding. Wow. As you can see, we have a little audience right here at the platform. All right, folks, here comes 73. This is White Pass and Yukon number 73 calling musician. Please serenade my arrival into Centennial Park to pick up these passengers with your rendition of I Have Decided to Follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. 73 out. Here she comes. Audience, let's hear it for 73! Get your tickets ready. Here she comes. Woohoo! Oh yeah! Oh, it's Eileen. Anyways. All aboard the White Pass Yukon. Hello, Rachel.
Hi, Red. Welcome.
Thank you. Wow.
Hello.
Hello.
Not one of those, huh?
Here we go.
See those?
Hi everyone. I'm going to be giving the tour to the rest of the train today on this fancy little microphone, which you'll hear in just a second, and I'll explain a little bit more in just a second. All right, thanks for joining us. Yeah, of course.
This is White Pass and Yukon number 73 calling musician. Please
Good
serve your
morning,
kind
folks.
from
Our train is
Skyway.
currently departing.
Your rendition of
And when our train
Little
starts to
Line.
move, it's normal to
73 out.
experience some bumps and jolts.
Here we
At
go.
this time, everyone must be inside and seated. This is a very real narrow gauge railroad, so I'll need everyone's attention for a few minutes for important safety information. During boarding, you may have noticed exterior platforms located at the front and back of your coach cars. These platforms are not available for use within city limits. Once the conductor has given me the go-ahead, I'll make an announcement and let everyone know when it is okay to step onto those platforms. But until that time, we need everyone to remain inside.
Here we go.
The most important rule of our train ride is that there is no crossing from car to car. This is for your own safety. The thin metal bridge between the cars is called an apron, and it is not safe to step or stand on. You will see staff crossing from car to car, but this is not an invitation to do so yourselves. Once again, there is no crossing from car to car. Always maintain 3 points of contact when up and about, and do not rest your hands near doorways or windows, because the movement of the train can cause them to slam shut. Inside each car is a very real stove. Please do not touch or adjust them. If you are uncomfortable with the temperature in your car, please speak with one of us, and we'll do our very best to accommodate you. Smoking, vaping, or the consumption of alcohol are prohibited at all times on board the train, including the lavatories and exterior platforms. With that being said, I officially wanted to welcome you aboard the famous White Pass and Yukon Route Railroad, constructed over 125 years ago. Today we'll be traveling over 20 miles of narrow gauge track and climbing nearly 3,000 feet in elevation to scale the White Pass summit. Our trip will take about 3 hours, and while our train does briefly cross the Canadian border, we stay on board the entire time, so you do not need your passports. At the summit, our train will take a loop in the track.
Hi, Red. How are you
which will
today?
turn us around so we can face the opposite direction
Eileen,
for
yeah.
the return
Can I have
trip
that
to
one?
Skagway.
Sure. And then this
So
is your
everyone
receipt.
will get to see both sides of the train ride today. You'll have one side going up and the other side going down.
How are we doing?
During our trip, I'll be pointing out some of the scenery and sharing with you some of the history of the White Pass Railroad and the Klondike Gold Rush, which spurred its construction. My name is Hannah, and I'll be your tour guide and your narrator today. Joining me is another wonderful train agent named Rachel. You'll be meeting her soon if you haven't already. She's going to come to your cars to greet you and point out a few of our onboard amenities. She is very kind and very knowledgeable,
so please feel free to ask her any questions. Our engineers today are engineers Morgan and Hilliard, but we won't be seeing them too much because they're in the cab of our locomotive. We will, however, be seeing our conductor O'Keefe, who is in charge of our train, and assisting her is our brakeman Commands. On your tables, you should have already found a complimentary copy of our All Aboard magazine. If not, or if you'd like any extras, additional copies are located at either the front or rear of your coach car. These guides are full of useful information about White Pass and the Skagway area. The back cover folds out into a rail map, which you can use to follow along as we embark from Milepost Zero, Skagway, Alaska, to the White Pass Summit at Milepost 20.4. With all that said, please sit back, relax, and get ready for our adventure. Hello everyone. I officially wanted to introduce myself to you. My name is Hannah, as you guys heard, and I'm going to be the narrator and your guys' tour guide today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. The one thing that I do ask of you guys though is if I am on this lovely microphone, please refrain from asking me any questions as my brain will kind of short fire and I do not know what will come out and it's very awkward for everyone involved. And then I also just ask that you keep your volume at a mindful level when I am on here. As long as no one's screaming at me while I'm on the microphone, it's just fine. I encourage you guys to talk amongst yourselves and talk to me. But yeah, if I am on the microphone, just please be a little bit mindful of the volume. And with that being said, enjoy the ride today. If you look to the left-hand side, you'll see a group of large red buildings. These are maintenance shops where the mechanical side of our operation is managed. This is where we maintain our rolling stock of over 80 passenger cars, 15 diesel electric engines, and the one steam locomotive that we are riding today. Each of our passenger coach cars are named after various lakes and rivers throughout Alaska, British Columbia, and the Yukon.
Oh yes, I love that sound.
Hi folks, how's it going in here?
Good.
You all are in the best care with my good friend Hannah right here as your personal tour guide, but I am Rachel, I'm going to be her assistant today. If you have any questions and she's hung up on the mic, please feel free to let me know. We do also have a little welcome aboard gift that I'd like to pass out as I pass through, so again, if you have any questions, then she's
Thank you. Off we go again. Here we go. All aboard the White Pass in Yukon.
Alright, now everyone should be inside. I'm going to go over our arrival announcements. Today we will be taking you back to where we picked you up. So if we picked you up back in town, that is where you will disembark. And if we picked you up at the dock, that is where we will drop you off. So we will be making a momentary stop before taking you back to the dock if that is where you got on. And we do need everyone to remain in their seats when we do make this brief stop. This is a great opportunity to double check and make sure that you have all of your belongings. Remember to take your hats, sunglasses, purses, phones, cameras, and anything else that you brought on board with you. And you may even check the overhead racks if you have them. I just wanted to thank you again so much for riding with us on the White Pass and Yukon Route Railroad. We certainly enjoyed having you with us. Please lend me your attention for one very important safety announcement. We need all passengers to stay on board and in their seats until you hear from me or one of the train crew that it is safe to exit the train. It can take a few minutes for the brakeman and conductor to put the steps down, and they cannot do so if you are out on the exterior platforms waiting to get off. Please wait to be waved off by one of our crew on the ground, or you can wait to hear from me, letting you know that all the steps have been let down. Be very careful when stepping off the train, and please use the handrailings provided. Keep in mind that many find it easier to go down backwards. If you need any assistance, please do not hesitate to flag down one of our train personnel. And this is an active railroad, so please do not cross over the railroad tracks. If you must get across, please find and use the nearest crossings and look both ways before advancing. Again, thank you so much for riding with us today.
Alright, Mr. Musician. Now, I need you to serenade me as I pull back into the Skagway station with your rendition of that classic Sunday school song, He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. 73 out.
We're back. Alrighty, folks, and with that, that wraps up our train ride on the White Pass and Yukon Steam Excursion.
Thanks for riding, man. Watch your step.
Alright.
Watch your step.
Here she comes. There she goes. Wait, she's stopping! The switch. This is White Pass and Yukon number 73 calling musician. Please serenade my reverse move back to the shops with your rendition of Amazing Grace. 73 out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps up our time here in Alaska. We thank you so much for watching, and please be sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos coming up in the near future. So, until next time, this is Rhett Robinson saying, Jesus loves you, and roll tide, and see you in another video.